Hi everyone! So I wanted to do a little video for you all. We're just going to talk about equipment today and what tools you can use at home and what tools I use as well during my grooming sessions. So tools that you can use that prevent the build-up of loose coat in your cat. We're not talking about clipping, we're not talking about shaving knots or anything like that. We're going to talk about basic maintenance tools. So brushes and combs, okay? This is not a grooming demonstration, so I'm not going to groom a cat. If you're lucky, one of my cats may just come to say hello. But that's going to be a different video for a different day, so we're just going to talk about equipment today. Hence why I'm just sat on my sofa in my casual clothes talking to you. Right, so the first thing I want to talk about, we're going to talk about the slicker brush. So this is a double-sided slicker brush. Now if I can hold it sort of there, can you sort of see the pins? If I hold it nearer the camera as well, actually, we can see the pins on there. So your slicker brush refers to this pin here, this angled pin that you can see on here. Now slicker brushes come in all different shapes and sizes, okay? So I also have, in a sec when it's all going well, a smaller one, which is exactly the same. You can see the angle of the pin on there, can you? Yeah, there we go. So that's what your slicker brush is referring to. It's referring to this angle of this pin on here. So it doesn't matter what size brush you have, okay? Doesn't matter if it's double-sided or single-sided. They come in all different shapes and sizes, and they are all equally as beneficial for grooming your cat, okay? So, what I want to talk about as well, sometimes if you do like a Google search for a slicker brush, you'll find some that have tiny pins, like cushions on the end of the pin. You don't want to buy one of them. Because that tiny little sort of bobble that they put on the end of the pins actually stops the brush getting to the bottom of the coat. So you want just the unbobbled end, okay? Now to somebody who doesn't know what they're doing with the brush, they do look quite lethal, the slicker brushes, and they can sound quite harsh. But what you want to do is just gently test it on yourself. You'll be able to tell what it feels like. It doesn't hurt at all, so you can actually test the pressure on your own arm to sort of what you're going to be doing on your cat, okay? Slicker brushes are great. Basically, they are my go-to for every coat length as well. So you can use, you know, big ones, small ones. Fantastic for long-haired cats because these pins really get to the bottom of the coat and work through all that and get the dead coat out. Really actually good as well for short-haired cats. If you've got a short-haired cat with quite a dense, thick coat, they're really good for getting under there as well. My cats have got quite very short, sort of very fine short coats, and one of my cats absolutely loves a little slicker brush. She just loves the feel of it, so we groom her with one of those. So really good all-purpose tool. You don't need to spend a fortune. There are lots of gimmicks out there that are trying to be sold to you. Slicker brushes are not expensive, okay? So little ones like this, you can pick them up for what, £5 or £6. Bigger ones, you may be looking about £10 for one of these. But do you know what? You can use your little one for long-haired, short-haired. It's a really good basic brush to have as a slicker brush. The difference is your little brush, it might take you a little bit longer to get through a big long coat. Your bigger brush might do it a little bit faster. But it all depends on how you use your brushes, which we'll go into in a different video at a different time when I do some demonstrating. So, slicker brush, there you go. Your next tool, always after I've brushed a cat, we always follow up with a comb through, okay? So this is a nice little comb. It's about 6 inches long. You can see we've got super fine pins on one side and then just slightly wider on the other side. These are great for just checking through what you've done. So if you've brushed your cat through, long-haired or short-haired, and then, you know, usually on the long-haired I'd use the wider comb just to check that we've got all the dead coat out. If the brush misses anything, this will sort of pull through any extra bits. Your fine side is good for short-haired cats as well, because it'll really pick up on, you know, that extra coat that's in there, that really fine stuff. You will also get cats that have a preference as well, okay? So, some cats prefer the brush to a comb because they're kind of less pulley through the coat than a comb is. So you might find that your cat doesn't actually like the comb, which is fine, then don't do it if it doesn't like it. But then vice versa, you might find that you've got a cat that actually prefers the comb because a comb covers less surface area on the cat than this brush does. Okay, so if you think of that brush there, or this one for instance, it's going to cover that sort of a wider range of skin on the coat and the cat. Whereas the comb, literally, you're doing that bit at a time, that little tiny strip at a time as you go through it. So it feels different. So, you know, you want to find out which your cat prefers, okay? Some cats don't have a preference, but honestly, believe me, when some cats do have a preference because they feel different. So ideally, you'd be using these tools together in conjunction with each other. But if you've got a cat that really doesn't like one or the other, then it doesn't matter. You know, you want to do what the cat prefers, because either will still get some grooming work done on your cat. Okay. This is another comb as well that I use. Now this is called, you see there, we've got long teeth and short teeth going on. This is called a safari comb. I didn't actually used to use one of these. I was recommended one of these by a fellow groomer. I can't remember her name, sorry, I do apologise. But I read on a grooming group that somebody uses one of these, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get one and try one. These are really good, actually. These are really good on certain breeds of cat. I found these fantastic on Siberian cats. So your cats with like the really thick Siberian coat, these really pull out that really fluffy, dense undercoat that's in there. And also, I do a little British short hair as well. And she molts really bad because if you know what a British short hair is, they really hold their coat in. They're quite thick coated even though they're short haired. This really gets the coat out as well on her. So these are a bit more money for a comb. I can't remember how much this was. It might have been about £15 or something. It's still not like breaking the bank, because if you think your tools are gonna, you know, last you forever, hopefully. So yeah, that's not a bad comb to have. Maybe a bit more specialised than, you know, just your double-sided, and you can still do a fine job with that. But occasionally, you know, I will pull this out of my bag and use this on a few clients that I know it really works on, okay? So then I want to talk about the rubber brush. Everyone's probably seen one of these. You can buy these from Pets at Home. You can buy them on Amazon, you buy them everywhere. They're not expensive, about £5. It's a Zoom Groom, it says on the back there. This is a cat one in the shape of a cat, obviously. These are no good for getting knots out. So if you've got a knotty cat or anything like that, then this is not what you need this for. These are really good for your short-haired cats, okay? Really good at removing loose undercoat on a short-haired cat. One of my girls used to hate groom. Well, she was never groomed till we got her. And then my husband taught her to enjoy grooming, and the minute she sees one of these, she just loves it. She likes the feel of it because it's kind of like a little, it's totally bendable rubber. You can see that there, how it bends around. It's like a little mini massage, but if you do it too fast, she gets too excited, so do it nice and slow. So yeah, short-haired cats, this is your go-to as well. But also, I do have some long-haired cats on my books that we finish off with this, especially one in particular called Layla. So if Layla's mum's watching, hello. Layla absolutely loves it if we finish her groom with this, especially on her head. It's like she's in heaven, her little face. It's just like a really good little massage. And also on the long-haired cat, it does actually get rid of loose top coat on a long-haired cat. So it's not getting rid of the undercoat, that's the bit we've done first anyway, but it does pull out sort of the wispy loose top coats that might fly around your house and stuff. But always, again, once we've loosened the coat with one of these, I would check over with a comb as well, just to pull any extra bits out. If you've got a cat that's super short coated, like my Vivian, we do this on her, but then we follow it with a flea comb. So this is a flea comb, super fine. Can you see that there? It is super, super fine. So really good for very short-haired cats, the super fine short-haired cats. So we go through her with that afterwards, and that just pulls out any loose bits, because if this has sort of lifted a lot of coat up, you just want to, you know, clean up afterwards basically, because you don't want to loosen all the coat with something and then the cat goes and sits and washes itself and then ingests that, because what we're trying to do with grooming, I mean, grooming does, you know, go towards reducing fur balls, so always finish off with something that can, you know, take off that extra loose stuff off the coat. If they don't like the comb, what you can do is just slightly dampen your hands and rub that, or, you know, rub your cat with your damp hands, because that will lift off that loose stuff as well. So there is my super fast intro to tools, okay? So slicker brushes, recap, there we go, slicker brushes. That is the best brush you can have, followed by your 3 types of comb. So you've got your double-sided, which is your all-purpose, you've got your flea comb, and then you've got your de-shedding comb there as well, and then your rubber brush as well if you need that, okay? So depending on what coat your cat's got as well. Now I'm going to do videos again, so a bit of demonstrating on how to use the tools. My cats are super short coated, so I don't have a long-haired cat, but what I do have is a bit of a surprise, because I did go and buy a model. It's not an alive model, by the way, so you'll meet him in the next video, and then we can show you how to use tools and stuff, okay? So hopefully that's been helpful. I wrote some notes and I've not read them at all, so I've probably just waffled on about lots of stuff. So yeah, that covers tools, what I use, what you can use. It doesn't cover how to use them specifically, so we're going to do that in a different video, okay? Any questions, drop them in the comments below this video. I hope it's been helpful to some extent, because there's just lots of waffling coming out of me now, so enjoy your day. See you later, guys.